Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chocolate Good Games match preview. West Ham United against Crystal Palace, 2 p.m. kickoff on Sunday afternoon at the London Stadium. Gonzo, can you kick us off with your thoughts on Palace, please?
Yeah, I think with Crystal Palace, it's taken a step back to go 2 steps forward, quite possibly, with the reappointment of Roy Hodgson. I probably thought they'd seen the back of him, didn't they? And I think probably Roy Hodgson possibly thought he'd seen the back of football, probably, at his time and life. But they needed him, and he did a wonderful rescue job for Palace last season. Talk about the right man for the job. He really was. I think that the trouble is with Crystal Palace, that's the second time they've tried to go for it. The first time they tried to go for it was, I think it possibly was after Allardyce, might be wrong, but that failed as well, and they had to revert back and go back to sort of the traditional English model, which does suit them. It does suit their players and the way they like to play with width and whatnot. So that's twice they've gone for the promised land and to change the culture of the club, and they've not been able to do it. So now they're back with Roy Hodgson. I mean, the one thing I would say with Crystal Palace is, for a little bit of context, they've actually managed to survive the loss of their talisman in terms of Wilfried Zaha really, really well. I think they're 13th in the Premier League at the moment. And for context, I've been saying this for 3 years. This is the longest period in my lifetime that I can remember Palace being in the top division. Palace were always a yo-yo club. And I don't even mean in the way that West Ham were. I'm not even talking about one season up, one season down. Something like it would be one season up, 3 or 4 seasons down, then back up again. That's how much of a yo-yo club they are. They are an established Premier League team now. And as much as the football might not be exciting, we know all about that. Funny enough, they played Burnley recently, and I just checked on the stats before doing this video. Burnley had 17 shots. Palace had 4. Palace had 30% possession, and Palace won 2-0. Well, we know this. This sounds very, very familiar to West Ham fans, apart from the 2-0 bit, which we'd like a bit of that, wouldn't we? That sounds lovely. It's hard to say they're a club going places, but what they have achieved and where they've got to compared to where they were, certainly at times in my lifetime, is really, really good. And I know perhaps Palace fans would like to go a level further again, but what's happening to the club now is pretty damn good. But listen, we get lots of people telling us that we should be happy with the football and whatnot. And West Ham have never been in Europe, so I understand. I'm probably doing to Palace what I don't like being done to us.
Yeah, I've already recorded a video with a Crystal Palace fan. I've done it from Dan, who goes by Hopkins Looking to Curl one on Twitter, HLTCO. A really good video, if I do say so myself. But his opinion on Crystal Palace were fantastic. He was speaking about what you're talking about there, the stability of Crystal Palace. And while that's a good thing, he compared themselves to Leicester City and said, but while we've been stable, 10th and 16th, we've been in there. We've only been in those places, never lower, never higher. But while we've been doing that, Leicester have come up, won the Premier League, won the FA Cup, played in the Champions League and got relegated again. They're going to come back up again. So while we've had stability and that's been good, Leicester have by far had the better time as a football fan. And that resonated with me quite a lot, actually. And what he speaks about Crystal Palace, it's very familiar to what we're talking about with West Ham and David Moyes, about just wanting more and what is there to hope for. Because I'm not a big fan of Roy Hodgson. I can appreciate what he brings, which is that safety gloves. And I don't think they'll get relegated this season. In fact, I think they're going to have a very boring season. I think they'll stay away from relegation. They're never in a battle. I don't think they're going to get anywhere near European spots. And I don't think they'll do well in the Cups either. I think between now and then, as a Palace fan, I don't think there's that much to look forward to. And this is where, if you aren't competing for something, you need something else. And the only thing left, there's 2 things: either A, the progression of your players from the academy, which Palace should have had, currently don't have enough of, or good football. And they've got the players for good football, but it's not good. I've seen Palace quite a bit this season, actually. I don't enjoy it. It's boring. I don't enjoy it. It's frustrating. It would be all right if he had a team. I understand if I tune in to watch Luton Town, I understand that they're going to play a certain way and it's not necessarily going to be pretty. I get it. The players aren't there. They have to play like that. Palace don't have to play like that. They've got Olise, Eze. They've got 2 of the best ball-playing centre-backs in the Premier League at their club. Just don't utilise it. And I think this summer, Palace had a really good opportunity, not just Crystal Palace, but they specifically, because they've got this issue coming up next summer, which is what do we do post Roy Hodgson? his contract's up. What do we do? And like you said, are they going to play it safe, or are they going to go for the promised land? Now, funnily enough, Dan actually speaks about Crystal Palace potentially employing David Moyes should we let him go. So that tune into that tomorrow. But I think this summer was the chance for Crystal Palace to do it because of the 3 promoted sides. Because the Premier League, we kicked out 3 established Premier League clubs last season. It was the relegation battle was always going to be a bit different this year round. And even at this point, you look at it and think there's no way Palace are going to get relegated. And Dan speaks about if they lose to us, they've got Bournemouth midweek, lose that. And suddenly there's not much between them and the relegation zone. So he's a little bit, could get a little bit fruity for us. I still can't buy into, I still think they'll be fine. But given how bad the Premier League is at the bottom, they'll probably say, maybe now's the time they change manager. Now's the time they say, Roy, thank you. You did what we want, but we're going to gamble now. We're going to go get the new manager in because we've got nothing to play for. And I know people say, well, what about Moyes? But I think West Ham do have things to play for in terms of trophies or potentially even finishing a European spot this season. I don't think Crystal Palace have that about them. And I just think they've potentially missed a really good opportunity to get rid of their manager, get someone else in and have a risk-free season, because there's no telling what next year is going to be, who comes up. At the minute, it looks like, so Leicester might come up. They might be in the relegation. They get the managerial appointment wrong. They lose 1 or 2 of their big players, which they might do. They might find themselves in a relegation battle again, because for all the stability, the best they've ever had, granted an FA Cup run as well, it's 10th in the league. And I just think, as a fan, you've got to be able to hope. You need permission to hope for more, but it's just not there. Anyway, what do you think they should do, managerial appointment? Do you think they should play it safe, or do you think they should risk it a little bit?
I mean, I've heard it all before from Palace. I think that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, they risk it, and I just suspect they would end up reverting back. And you say about David Moyes, appointing someone like him. Yeah, they can go and appoint a young continental coach. They could go and whatever, get De Boer or get Patrick Vieira or whatever the case may be. And you know what, it may or may not work out. What I think it probably leans towards is something not being right in the infrastructure of the club to allow those managers to thrive. They've basically tried both models numerous times, and there's only one that ever succeeds, and it is success. And this I must make this point: it is success for Crystal Palace to be in the Premier League. It really is. I don't like comparing them to West Ham, and I like Palace. I really do. I've got nothing bad to say about the club at all. But West Ham are a much bigger club than Crystal Palace, much bigger, and so. We have higher expectations. We have a bigger, but we've more to spend on play. Everything is bigger at West Ham, in the same way that everything is bigger at Liverpool compared to West Ham. But we're bigger than Palace, right? And I think with that in mind, unless they change the infrastructure at the club and whatever it is at that club which stops these more progressive coaches flourishing, then there's no point. But I do think when you get to a point where maybe you are that mid-table team, and that's what you've got. If you can't win anything and you're not going to get relegated, then you want to be entertained, don't you? So I think that's really the thing. Yeah. I think that's nice to have. You might not be looking at a trophy at the end of the season, but can I turn up and give the crowd? I mean, give the crowd something to make a noise about. Give the fans something to get behind. Give them a striker worthy of the name and that sort of thing. And I think that's really where it is. Look, ultimately, it's up to them. It's up to them what they want. But I have seen it all before, and it would not surprise me if they did change and things got worse.
This is where there's probably going to be a bit of arrogance creeping in with this question. But hopefully it comes across the right way. We have to deal with it as West Ham fans as well. And do you think they'll be able to retain their big boys, Anderson, Mark Gay? They've got Decore in person in there. Olise, Eze in particular are always attracting headlines.
It's hard to say. I mean, Zaha was a Palace boy, and paid a chunk of 10% of his wages, I believe, went to local charities in and around like the Norwood area and all around there. So it was perhaps easier to keep him as long as they did, but he still left twice, didn't he? It's Olise's not going to have that affinity towards them.
Well, he did turn down Chelsea, didn't he? Chelsea wanted him. He rejected them and signed a new deal with Palace. So that's
good. I mean, yes, good. But what I'm saying is, it does have no affinity to the area. In the same way that it's not his. It wasn't wasn't pedaling his push bike around there as a kid, basically. It's yes. I mean, look, what I would say actually is I think it's easier for Premier League clubs to hang on to their players now, because actually Premier League clubs are really, really rich comparatively to Europe. And you've seen that with Brighton. You've seen it with West Ham. We can command absolute top money for our players because we have, as clubs, at least, and all of us have at least £200 million coming in every single season. That's a hell of an insulation towards keeping your players. And you just don't have to sell them anymore. And what that does is it takes away all those other big clubs that used to come and poach your players, be they Inter Milan or anyone else, any of the other big European teams. Even Barcelona now. Barcelona don't have the money to come and take a Premier League player and say, we'll have him and we'll take him for 100 million. They don't. A lot of these big clubs are having to wait for Premier League players' contracts to run down and stuff like that. So, I think financially it's going to be quite easy for them to hold on to their players. It's just whether the players kick up a stink and say, actually, I'd like to go in there. It depends if, do Liverpool want to come in when Mo Salah leaves and want to take Olise or something like that. I think when you've got a prestigious club coming in for a player, it may well be the player just says, oi, come on, I might turn down Chelsea, but this is too good to refuse.
I agree with all that. Pleasure, Meyer.
Olise be, really worried about him. Just come back. He's played well against us before. He's a magical player. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. I'm not too bothered about the strikers there, but they can do so much. They have so many attacking elements that can come from different angles. But, be it Ayew sometimes plays, but, even Schlupp, who's been there for years, he can come and he can pose an attacking threat. I like Anderson as a centre-back. He's really good. I like Mitchell. I don't even know if Eze's gonna play in this one. He went off injured in the last game. So
for a while, I think.
They got plenty of good players. Palace, plenty.
Yeah, they're missing Eze and Decore, so two big players for Crystal Palace missing for Sunday. Mark Gay, I think, is a top-class centre, but I think he's one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. I think I'd be surprised if he was at Palace, and maybe one more year, but the season after that, I'd expect him to move on, truth be told, because I think he's got the ability to go on and play for the top clubs in the country. I think Olise, like you said, and Eze, who I say famously, not really, but among West Ham fans, famously was David Moyes' number one target, and we ended up with Said Benrahma. I mean, you do wonder if only we got him, because what a special talent he is. But this is why you look at Palace with him and Olise, and you think they should be far more entertaining than they are. They've got all the talent in the world, goals and assists, creativity among them two is incredible. Quite a lot of good players at Crystal Palace, but like I said, while you've just praised Ayew and Schlupp, that's two players I've never been able to get behind. Ayew can do a job, I guess, but I've never been his big
I wasn't
fan.
praising them. I was saying they can provide goals.
Yeah, Schlupp, I just not a big fan of. Will Hughes, I'm not keen on him either. Joe Ward, these players have been at Palace for quite some time. I've never been the biggest fan. I've always found that to be Palace over the last few seasons, where they've got a handful of good players, a handful of average ones, but have the work ethic which allow the good players to play good. Anyway, enough about Crystal Palace. Time to talk about West Ham. But before we do some team news, we've got some Hammers Chat news. And this is for Patreon. But you know what? I'm not even going to tell you where to find it. I'm not going to promote Patreon. This is a heads up to all patrons of Hammers Chat. Please do log in and get your predictions in. We have a prediction competition every single game now. It's part of your Patreon subscription. Doesn't matter what tier you are. Give us the correct score and the first goal scorer of the game, and the overall winner will win what Gonzo is waiting to reveal on his screen now. It's a signed shirt by Kurt Zuma. So whoever wins the prediction competition on Patreon this weekend will win that signed shirt.
It's not a worn shirt.
It's not a worn one. No, the tags are still there. So patrons, do log in and give us your prediction. Doesn't matter what tier you are. That is the prize for every single patron this weekend. Team news as far as West Ham goes, looking pretty positive. You'd imagine it's too soon for Mikel Antonio. David Moyes has played down how long he's going to be out for and suggested he'll be back within 2 weeks, and that was 2 weeks ago. But I imagine it'll be far too soon, so we're ruling him out for this preview. But Jarrod Bowen should be okay. Mohamed Kudus missed the game on Thursday due to an illness. He should be okay as well. Edson Alvarez was knackered, and Soufal was probably out on the piss, but they are all expected to be back for West Ham. So as far as we're aware, Gonzo, no Mikel Antonio, but everybody else is available. Capiche?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Just a reminder, this is a team we want to see, not what we think David Moyes will do. But in goal, Gonzo, who would you like to see on Sunday afternoon?
Areola back in goal. Great performance from Fabianski, but his distribution was iffy against Bakatopola. So, yeah, I do think Areola's a big part to us counter-attacking. Not that I think we'll have to do an awful lot of counter-attacking against Palace.
Yeah, I think Areola's gloves weren't up for grabs, really. I think Fabianski did well on Thursday, but the shirt wasn't there to be had. Fabianski could have saved 3 penalties, and I still wouldn't won on Sunday because Areola was really good against Burnley. So, Areola, for me, you're back 4.
It's a tough one, actually,
Yeah.
Gio. I got to say, so I'm probably going to change it a little bit
Me
for this
too.
one. Oh, interesting. I was, believe it or not, I was actually tempted to put Ben Johnson in at right back for this one, but I'm not. I'm going to play Soufal. But I think he's given Moyes food for thought, actually. And I know it wasn't against the best opposition, but I was really pleased with what I saw from Ben Johnson. I'm going to play Soufal. I'm going to play Mavropanos. I'm going to play a Gerd. And I'm going to play Emerson.
Yeah, completely agree. I think it's important we play Mavropanos actually in this one because Burnley was possibly a huge indicator to David Moyes, which is if you're going to push up and you're going to have possession, and imagine we will on Sunday, Palace will let us have the ball. Palace will want us to have the ball because they want to play counter-attacking football. And I just think Zuma got exposed quite a couple of times against Burnley, a side that wasn't really committing players forward because they were winning. They were protecting a 1-0 lead. So with that in mind, when it's 0-0 against Palace, who will commit players forward at times, I just worry that Zuma's lack of pace and mobility will be exposed in this game. So I would select Mavropanos as well. Moving into midfield, is it a case of it picks itself for you?
No, I'm trying to figure a way to do something a little bit different. I've got my multicolored pen in my hand.
Is that because I'm going to guess why you want to do something different, and there's two reasons in my head. Either A, you want Paqueta off the left-hand side, or B, you want Cornet in the starting 11 and you're unsure how to squeeze him in.
No, but they're excellent suggestions. I just think Palace, having looked at their stats, and I know how Palace play, I know about how Roy Hodgson plays, so just a little bit of confirmation of what I thought. I don't think they're going to come tearing at us. So I think we're going to have to attack them. And I think the biggest... Palace have seen off better attacking teams than West Ham and held steadfast and resolute and made a barrier. I don't think we're going to get through them with tricks and skill and stuff like that. I think ultimately, if we do get through them, it's probably going to be through set plays or a late Thomas Souček header. I keep saying header. He's kicking it in. Yeah, volley. There we go.
He's kicking it in. Welcome to Hammers Chat. Thanks for that expert analysis there. Souček kicked it into the net.
They're only here for the shirt and the advent calendar talk, really. I think, so with that in mind, I think it's really important that both Ward-Prowse and Souček are in the team. However, I don't really like the way the midfield functions with, with Souček and Alvarez and Ward-Prowse in the middle. So I'm not exactly sure how to do it realistically. But
so what are you hoping to achieve then? What's your end game here?
Okay, I think I might. And to be fair, I heard Nick suggest it on a video you did with him, which was Ward-Prowse on the right, crossing from deep. I'd quite like that. So I think I'd almost be playing Paquetá as a number 8 next to Alvarez. And I'd be playing Souček up next to maybe Bowen or something like that. And I want the crosses coming into him from deep, basically, and I want those on the pitch. So yeah, I'm not sure. You better tell me your team while I figure this out, Gio. To be fair.
So who are you putting on the left-hand side?
I'm not entirely. I'm working it out. You're meant to talk while I do it. Really.
I'm more wanting to know what your conclusion is. Are you going Souček and Bowen up front, Ward-Prowse on the right?
Well, basically,
I've do so on the left-hand side.
How many? Okay. I think what I'm going for here is Paquetá and Alvarez in the middle, Souček almost like as a number 10, but more of a close up next to the striker. It would probably be Kudus, James Ward-Prowse on the right, Bowen on the left.
You're off your head.
Well, what I've got is a lefty on the left and a righty on the right. And they're putting crosses in all day long because I think it's the only way we're going to get any joy in this game. No, David Moyes is not going to do this. I know that. This is what I've got to do something different. To be fair, they've been boring the arse off me for 3 games now. Basically, for 3 games, we've been the worst team and we've won.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get the desperation, because that's what it is. I get the desperation to see something different and hope that you witness something different. I do get it, and there is a little bit of method to your madness. There'll be some subscribers listening thinking, actually, I fancy a little bit of this. I actually like what he's saying. I could see this happening. I could see it working. So you will have your support from subscribers in the comments below. I just think that midfield would get ripped apart in the middle. I just think, given the way that Palace play, they can be relatively narrow at times. And while they are missing WHUCRY, I think Lerma will have a little bit of fun in there. I think Olise would start drifting central, knowing that Alvarez and Paqueta will go wandering regardless, and you'd soon see Alvarez just completely outnumbered in the middle of the pitch. And I think Palace's strength is probably the counter-attack, and I think your 11 would leave us completely open to the counter-attack. But like I said, I sympathise and understand the desperation. The worst thing is, I think the midfield and the attack pick themselves.
Yeah.
The personnel, and it's the same personnel you've got. It's Alvarez, Souček, and Ward-Prowse. If you are going to drop any of them, it's probably James Ward-Prowse. Because, well, I've seen us play without Alvarez, and I don't like it. So I think Alvarez has to play. Yeah. Souček has to play. Souček's become undroppable and unsubbable for David Moyes because he's our biggest goal threat apart from Jarrod Bowen. So he's got to play. Paqueta has to play. I've not been happy with his performances the last couple of games, but he's too good. You have to play him. Kudus and Bowen have to play as well. So that leaves one spot, and it should be Ward-Prowse. But if you're going to want to shuffle the deck and bring Paqueta into the middle next to Souček and Alvarez and free up the left-hand side, maybe for Cornet, then it's probably Ward-Prowse that's got to miss out. And Bowen's capable of hitting a good set piece as well. It's not like we don't have good set piece takers. Are they as good as Ward-Prowse? No. Are they as consistent as Ward-Prowse? No. But is Ward-Prowse bang on the money every single time? Not really. I've seen some games where we've created nothing from set pieces with him on the pitch. Sure. So I actually think Ward-Prowse is possibly the one that's most likely to miss out. But I don't think Moyes would ever do that. So I think we'll see that 6. And now I'm going to bottle it and go for what I think we'll see, which is Alvarez, Souček, Ward-Prowse, and then Kudus, Bowen, and Paqueta, and stick with it. And I don't necessarily like it, but just limited options at the minute. I think alternative-wise, I think we've got slim, despite having a big squad, it feels like we've got slim pickings.
Well, because he doesn't like using many of them, does he? That's the thing. Of his biggest squad in the world. If you only particularly like picking 12 of the players, then it makes the big squad redundant, really. But yeah, I would agree that about the Cornet one. Cornet probably does deserve to be shoehorned in there somewhere. But
the problem is he looks good on the right, didn't he? That's part of the problem.
But again, yes, but part of the problem is, the reason I've done what I've done is, okay, yes, in this point it worked. He checked in and crossed with his left foot. And obviously I'm aware that that's exactly what Kudus did when he provided the service for Souček. But I find it hard. I just think you get more crosses, more of them, and probably more accurate if you're able to put a right footer on the right and a left footer on the left. And I'd really like to see. I think Bowen could be really good at it, just crossing quickly from the left. I think you'd get down there and you would get a cross closer to the byline. Whereas I think Ward-Prowse would almost be like more of a Beckham one. He could cross it from deep. I don't know.
Bowen's too far away from goal in your team for my liking, and he won't be able to cut in. So I think you'd be putting your main goal threat in a position where he's not a goal threat. Yeah. I don't like that.
And he can't cut in and score from that. Yeah. But so much of the team all the time is based around someone cutting in and scoring on their strong foot. And even if they just changed it around a little bit during the game, it was one of the frustrations with the Bacca Topola game. Tactically, nothing ever changed. Come on, just do something, just change it. And even if he swapped for 15 minutes during the game, swapped Kudus and Bowen around, swap Ward-Prowse and Bowen, and just something, keep them guessing, do something different. But the one thing that Souček would know is this ball is coming into the box, whether it's first time on the right foot or checked in on the left foot. He would just know they're going to keep hitting me, because I do think they're a really good defensive team at Palace. And I think it's going to be hard to break them down with skill because, as I said, I've seen people that are better at it than West Ham. Maybe, just maybe. And I think they defend really well. But maybe if we put that ball into the box 15 times during that game, I would imagine Thomas Souček is getting some shots on target.
Right, well, this will be interesting. Get the 11 you want to see, not what you think Moyes will do. Get the 11 you want to see in the comments below and see what you guys are saying as well. Now, do you play Super 6? You know what Super 6 is. It's Sky Bet's version where they give you 6 games. You have to predict the results and you have to get them all right in order to win the money. Well, what happens if we told you there's a bookie that does it so that it's bigger payouts and more consistent payouts as well? Gonzo.
Yeah, I mean, really, really big payouts. So all you got to do is predict on the 6 selected Premier League matches and predict the scoreline. Now, the jackpot is huge. The jackpot is £2 million for predicting all of them, but there are lesser payouts. Now, I do this every week anyway, not just on Super 6, but as Geo will know, sometimes I chuck a cheeky 25 pence and try and predict the Premier League scoreline. So I'm doing it anyway. We've got a really, really good deal on this. But you have to use the link below because, quite frankly, it's really good for us if they know you've come from Hammers Chat and you're massively helping Hammers Chat out before Christmas. You log in and it's something called Golden Goals and it's from BetMGM. The Golden Goals thing, you don't even have to pay a deposit for. You do have to be 18 to play because it is a betting website. There are other games that will require you to pay money. But on this Golden Goals one, which is exactly like Super 6, all you do is you go in and for that game week, you choose the 6 Premier League fixtures that they've selected, give the scorelines, go in there. So last week, there were 3 people, and there weren't even that many people that entered the game. 3 people, and they only got 3 scorelines right. They shared $5,000. So it's not just a £2 million. Even if you don't win the big bucks, you can win decent cash prizes. And also, if you do like a little bet anyway, we've got a deal at the moment as if you deposit £10, you get £40 worth in free bets. So really good deal. Please use the link below. We'd really appreciate it. Go and check it out. We'll be doing it and join us on those Premier League predictions.
Good luck if you do get involved. Right, Gonzo, are you feeling confident?
No, not really. I'm worried about Olise. There's not been a level of performance good enough from West Ham currently to give you confidence. But I do wonder if we're about to Crystal Palace, if you know what I mean.
There's always a worldie in this fixture as well. When we play Palace, there's always a worldie. The amount of bangers has been scored, either by Palace or by West Ham. Jordan Ayew, when he turned into Messi, Lanzini scored them, Payet scored them, the free kick, Payet's free kick, Carroll's bicycle kick. There's always a banger when we play Crystal Palace. I'm optimistic, actually, and it's more because of Crystal Palace. Famous last words. This is going to make me look a little bit silly should we lose. I don't fear them. I fear Olise. I think Edouard's a decent enough striker. I quite like him. He's not the best, and I thought he'd do better at Palace than he has done. But I think Decole's a massive loss for him. I think their centre-backs are fantastic, but they ain't going to be harming us down the other end of the pitch, I think. So I don't fear Crystal Palace that much. I think this is a good time to play them. No Decore, no Eze. Thank you very much. That's really good as well. My lack of confidence actually comes from the West Ham side of things, which is am I confident we're going to turn up and perform? Not really. I'm a little bit hopeful, maybe naively, that Bowen, Kudus, Alvarez and Soufal have all had a rest, and that's 4 of our starting. Areola as well, but I'm keeping the keeper separate. But 5 of our starting 11, well, Zuma, so 6 of our starting 11 won't have even played on Thursday. Yeah. Some of them didn't even travel to Serbia. So I'm hoping that the midweek fixture impact has been limited enough so it's minimal. I think the damage limitation to that midweek game has been sort of reduced as much as possible. So I am optimistic for this one. I'm feeling like we're going to win, but I'm not saying it confidently. It's funny enough, the West Ham fixture isn't in that Predictor 6 on BetMGM this week, and I'm bloody glad it's not because I would be predicting a West Ham win, but I'd be doing it more out of hope than belief. Gonzo, can I get any final words from yourself as well as your all-important score prediction, please?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really big game for West Ham, actually, because a little bit of daylight is starting to open up between the top and the bottom half of the Premier League. And we need to, that's only going to, I'd imagine, increase after this game week. And I think it's really important that West Ham stay in that top half, and not just in that top half, we stay in a position where we can reach. If we get some good form, and I mean form in terms of consistency of performance, we can really start to push for that 7th and 8th spot. And to do that, we've got to beat teams like Crystal Palace in our own ground. We really do. It's a little bit of a concern because, you know, we were very lucky to beat Burnley, and Palace have played Burnley recently and had a very professional performance and sort of beat them 2-0, even though Burnley had the lion's share of play. We need it, and I think we need to do it without relying on Thomas Souček to rescue us, because we've become a bit of a one-man team. But we've got some good players, and we've spoken about lots of really good Crystal Palace players. Jarrod Bowen's back. Bloody good, one of the top Premier League goal scorers. Mohamed Kudus, one of the best players, and Lucas Paquetá. We've got an absolute genius in central midfield as well. So we do actually have a really good opportunity to win this game. And I don't know why. I don't know where I'm getting the confidence or the hope from, because we have performed poorly. But I suspect we're going to win, and I think we might win 1-0.
I thought the way you said, I don't know where I'm getting this confidence from. I thought you were going to say 2-0 or something, not a 1-0 win. I'm feeling really, really optimistic. We're going to win 1-0. So and you were building up to something there. I didn't know what was a way to come, but it certainly wasn't 1-0. I think Palace have limited goal threat about them. You know, losing to Luton, I mean, that's not good. That's not good regardless of who you are, and that gives me a little bit of optimism too. But I'm going to say 2-1 because I just don't have confidence in us keeping a clean sheet. I don't have it. You know, these ugly wins, these fortunate wins are going to stop sooner or later. And either A, we're going to start winning on merit, or B, we're going to stop winning. It's one of the two. And I just hope it's the first one. In order to do so, we've got to make these wins that we have got count for something, which is a bit more confidence in the team, a bit more confidence in the players individually. The last two games have been lucky, but we've also been missing our best player in Jarrod Bowen. You know, Crystal Palace have been missing, in my opinion, their best player in Eze. We've been missing our version in Jarrod Bowen the last two. You're going to suffer when you miss out on your best. If Liverpool take Salah out, they're going to notice a drop-off in performance. Hopefully he's back. Hopefully he's fighting fit. I'm quite confident he will be, Jarrod Bowen. So for that reason, I'm going to say 2-1. I'll tell you what, I think Jarrod Bowen's going to score. The worst thing is, I say worst thing or the best thing, I'm not sure we've seen the end of Thomas Souček's 5 goals in 5 games for him. I'm not sure we've seen the end of his goal scored one either. So there you go. If you've enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat. If you fancy getting involved in the BetMGM, the link is in the description below. You have to use that link in order for them to know you come from Hammers Chat. Helps out the channel, get involved, predict the scores, and hopefully someone will be winning a share of 2 million at the end of the weekend. But like Gonzo said, you could gamble like I, deposit £10, £40 of free bets as well. Happy days. Myself and Gonzo, catch up with you in a bit.